Welcome back to CTN. I'm your host, Robert Van Sluten. This episode, we're going to finish up with bars. We're going to do a toolbar for now. And we're going to jump over to table view controllers, and then get into tab bar controllers and navigation controllers. But let's just take a look at toolbars, because there's some issues that you should be aware of. Let's get started. Let's start with a demo of what we're going to build. I have a label, and I didn't change the text for that, so it just comes up saying label. There's a toolbar down here with 3 buttons, 0, 1, and 2. If I select any one of those, it'll just display the text for the button. Now, this may seem incredibly trivial, but there are some issues that you should know about. So let's actually start over, and we're actually going to build this thing. Okay, I'm going to start with a single view application. I know we said we'd be moving beyond that, but it's a good place for learning. Let's call this Toolbar, and I'm going to use a capital B. Let's just make it an iPhone app. Now what I'm going to do explicitly here is I'm going to turn off rotation. I want to make this a portrait only, which is very common with a lot of iPhone applications. Next, I want to go over to the storyboard. Let's pull up our library here. And we'll scroll down and we'll bring in our label. Now we want a toolbar. So we'll go way down the bottom, and you'll notice there's a bunch of bar stuff here. We have our toolbar. Now here's the thing to think about. What are we actually looking at? Let's take a look at this button. And well, it says for 3.5, so we're looking at a 4-inch iPhone. Okay, and you'll also notice that there is one button provided called Item right here. And you can go over to the document outline and you can look at what's here. There's a toolbar and there's a bar button item. We covered these classes, I think it was 2 episodes ago. Let's go to the next slide, and I want to show you the issue related to 3.5 and 4-inch. Okay, here's a problem. I have a 4.5-inch iPhone represented here. I place the toolbar on the bottom. What happens if I select the simulator for 3.5 inch and I run this app? Here we go. It's off the screen. It's down here somewhere. If I change this to, let's hit the home button. And I change this to 4-inch. I rerun. Any day now. There we go. There's my toolbar. My item button. What didn't I do? Well, the answer is auto layout. Stop this. Go over the storyboard. And I say add missing constraints. I select 3.5 inch and I go ahead and run this. Any day now. Now we have our toolbar. Let's go to the next slide and start dealing with our toolbar buttons. Okay, I got one free button by just bringing in the toolbar. I want two more, so I'm going to bring in two bar button items. And you'll notice this change is going on in the document outline. I now want to put some spacing in because these are grouped all the way to the left. And I had them spread out almost all the way to the edges. There's two spacers here. There's a fixed spacer and there's a flexible spacer. I'm just simply going to use two flexible spacers. Okay, now obviously I want these to have some identity to them. I have the leftmost one selected and I'm going to call it 0. Very creative. Now here's the thing. I'm going to have 0, 1, and 2 and I want it to affect the label. However, I don't really want to bother with 3 actions because I'm doing one thing. I'm writing the label. So I'm going to have the same action triggered by all 3 buttons. And the way I'm going to pull that off is with tags. This one's tag 0, which is fine. Thank you. Very convenient. I'm going to call this 1. And I'm going to tag it 1. And I'm going to go to the next one over here. I'm going to call that one 2. I don't normally do this trivial kind of thing on screen, but in this case it's pretty simple. Get it over with. Okay, now we have to hook it up, and there's a specific issue with doing that. Let's go to the next slide. I went ahead and changed the workspace window for what we're going to do next. And I also created a property for the label. I'm going to select button 0 and I'm going to control drag into implementation And I'm going to create a action called button. Very straightforward. Now you would think that I could control drag from the other two to the circle indicator here to actually execute that same action. I can't. The way in which that is pulled off, let me get past the there we go. Okay, the way that is pulled off is control drag from the other buttons down to the view controller, and that will give me a list of what's been created, and I want the button action. And I want to do the same thing for the other button. Now, I have 3 buttons that are invoking the same action. Sending a message. It doesn't do anything yet. I'm going to paste in a line of code. Self.label.text. And what I'm doing is I'm getting the sender.tag, which is those tag values that I was putting in. They're integer values. And I'm making a string based on a format, %d. Let's go run it. Oh, the mix of Xcode and QuickTime and so on. Okay. 0, 1, 2. That's it. In the next episode, we're going to be moving on to table views and table view controllers. The application will be on the website, cocotouchnetcast.com. You're probably watching on the YouTube channel, but for now it's also available as a podcast in iTunes. There's a contact link on the website, and you can also watch the videos on the website. There are also tags, so you can do some filtering based on things like view, application, so on and so forth. Feedback is always welcome, always trying to improve, and I'd like to have a better understanding of the audience. You can also find me on Twitter at rvansluten, or at rvansluten. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.